I look there.
Look there. Hey, everyone. Angela O'Hare here, your favorite Las Vegas realtor.
Hey, I'm Rob Howe, Rockstar Realtor with Elite Realty. I'm the realtor, you're the rock star.
Sorry, we are, a minute late? Oh, no, we're right on time.
Right on time.
Rob literally.
By the skin of my chinny chin.
Just got here, and welcome to our market update.
Hello.
You know what?
It's been a
while since we've actually seen each other.
Yeah.
How does it sound, everybody? Leave a comment down below what you think. How do we sound? The one person that is watching. Okay. No comments so far.
They're shy. They're like,
they left.
Oh, look at that. I'm busted. I'm busted.
How does the sound? We don't know. Anyway, so Rob, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I haven't seen you in it's been 3 months at least.
It has been. We've been doing the
live streaming.
Yeah, the live streaming.
Yeah.
The remotes,
because both of Rob and I have been slammed.
There it is. There's sorry, folks.
I know.
Sorry, one folk. Hey, we got another one back. Let's see if they leave too, just because we mentioned them. Hey,
right?
Say hello, one person.
So I know that you've been doing a lot of tennis tournaments, going to Arizona.
Yeah, I played in the nationals for my level.
Did you win?
I won 3 out of 4 matches. Unfortunately, we just barely lost the one we lost. And I think that was the difference maker in us being in 5th place, which means you're just outside of the final 4.
Right.
The team that beat us went to the final. They didn't win, but they went to the final. So I have a feeling had we been able to scratch it out, we would have been the final finalists.
Yeah.
Maybe actually won. Who knows? The
nice thing of us being together going live is that we don't have to worry about you squirming around, messing with your headphones. Just kidding.
It's always a learning curve for me.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. This technology thing is not all that it's cracked up to be. I've been doing a lot of neighborhood drive-through videos. I have a GoPro 9 and a DJI Osmo Action, and within 20 minutes, they're both heating up, and I can't record. Really? So it just makes me look unprofessional. Even someone commented about it, just like I can't control it. It's beyond our control with technology. It's not all that it's cracked up to be.
It's a learning thing. But you know what? I see it even on TV shows, because nowadays, a lot of my TV is like YouTube. Hello.
Right.
And I see it there where even they have little technical difficulties, like more highly produced things.
Right.
And the other day I had to stop watching something because the guy was like, it was kind of like what I was doing. He had one of those little things on like I do, and it was making a lot of noise. So
yeah,
I'm understanding, folks.
I'm not impressed actually with the GoPro. I actually like the DJI Osmo Action better. And I even bought a Sony ZV-1 camera for vlogging. I took that back. I didn't like it either. You know what's the best thing? Your phone.
The old phone, yeah.
You can zoom in, zoom out very easily. Yeah. And the way these phones are right now, they're better than cameras.
I use my phone for everything except when I'm driving. And the one I showed you is the one I use now when I'm driving.
Right.
That one is pretty cool. But I haven't used it as far as I can recall where it's been like super hot.
Yes.
So we'll see. Oh my goodness, I thought I turned this off.
I use my phone when I'm driving to record me while I'm talking like this on a little mount.
Yeah.
And it doesn't heat up too much.
Yeah.
I think these phones are, for the price, they better be.
They're amazing. It's amazing. You put a stabilizer on it and you're good to go.
Yep, exactly. And most phones, the Apple comes pretty well stable. I know you are an Android person,
right? And it's pretty stabilized, but there is a noticeable difference. As a matter of fact, in one of my videos that I did, the tennis one, I went in there so excited to see the area that I grew up playing tennis in, that my grandfather, and I went on the court just like this with the phone, right, without my stabilizer, and I forgot later to go back through and redo that part, but it was noticeably
more shaky.
Yeah, my editor had to do a little work, but it was fine. It just
Hey, we got 2 people watching.
No, you're going to scare them off if you mention them.
That's right? I should have never mentioned them. So let's get into the market
update. Do it. Surprises abound.
Yeah, we're going to go over October 2021 numbers. And, I'm not surprised with the numbers. pretty much it's what we've been kind of predicting in a way, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a little surprising because of the force that's still been left in the market.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for those houses that, and no, actually, I'll talk about that once we go over the numbers. So with that being said, it's kind of nice. I have a new computer, so it's nice that we can actually read it. Is it large enough for you to read?
Oh, yeah.
All right. So there were 3,077 single family homes that sold last month, down 4.1% from September, and also down 4.6% from October 2020, which I find interesting. Because this is, as we've been saying, we are now getting into our traditional selling months.
Yeah.
If we're down, because it started, the peak of the market going crazy was July of 2020. And we're not even competing against July 20 or last year 2020 numbers because we're down.
Yeah. We are. Yeah. So, well, that's true. It really started going crazy last year. That's why. I mean, I think that was the beginning of where we started noticing,
right, because we met in July. Yeah. We had our first market update in August, and that's when we were like,
yeah, hey, what's going on? Right. The clearly the banana trees were sprouting their bananas. Whatever. I just call it. It's been bananas.
It's been bananas.
Been bananas lately. But
the only shocker thing is that we are still seeing growth, steady growth, not like growth that we were seeing in the beginning of this year, where it was cray. We went from 406,500 to 410,000 for the medium price.
So we jumped again, right? $3,500, which is like.
It's 0.9% increase from the prior month.
That's what's been surprising me because we only jumped $1,500 a month prior, right? It was $1,500 increase. Now it's $3,500 increase. And what I'm seeing is that it is in those lower price ranges where it's been extremely competitive, condos and things like that. And of course, the really nice homes, as we've been saying, they sell fast and they sell for more.
Well, these numbers don't reflect condo numbers, though. They're just single family.
Oh,
that's
just single family. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
But it also depends on type of home that you're looking for, because I just went into a major bidding war with a single story home, 4 bedrooms, pool, the desirable home, 3-car garage, huge lot in North Las Vegas, asking price $600, multiple offers. And I think my buyer was paying cash. We finally went up to $660 cash, waived everything. They declined it because there was a better offer than that. And I think it was close to $700,000. So almost $100,000 increase from original asking price. That's pretty crazy.
That is crazy. It sounds like the type of home that even in a traditional time is still pretty, we don't have a lot of those.
Right.
And so it would be a popular home. Maybe certainly not that kind of activity, but maybe a little underpriced, which is what we actually have been advising. I mean, look at that.
But it was actually priced according to what was selling in that neighborhood. It was Aliante, North Las Vegas. But I guess because it was highly updated, desirable single-story pool, huge lot, 3-car garage, yada yada. That I got lots
checks
of offers.
All the boxes.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know what some of these obviously we have areas that we haven't had comparables in for a while. So even if you go back to as recent as July or June or something, that it's grown so much since then. So you can't, if those are your only sales, you have to kind of estimate the inertia that's been in the market. What else has happened, right?
True.
That's a little bit harder to do, but it's. Yeah.
So the median price actually increased to 20.5 compared to last year's numbers. So there's a 20.5% increase in median price from last year.
Yeah. On point for what we've been seeing.
So now let's get to the luxury market. And you know what? Let us know in the comments if you'd like our live market updates or if you prefer us to do the recorded market updates, because obviously during our live updates, we don't have the numbers flashing and telling you what exactly the numbers are. I don't know if people need visuals to look at it or not. So no one's commenting. You guys are kind of quiet today.
That's all right. Sometimes I think even as a watcher myself, I may not realize what I like to be watching.
Right.
What it is that's actually making me go, oh, I like this. And it may be that some of those things that pop up and keep your interest Hey, there you go.
There you
like
go.
it live.
Julie
Good.
likes it live. Thank you, Julie. Someone's answered.
Yeah.
Julie, how does the sound? Because I got my Blue Yeti mic and I've never used it with two people. So hopefully the sound is okay.
It should be good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good quality mic.
It's a condenser, so it should be
fabuloso. Yeah. So and sorry if I look over because the numbers are posted on the computer. We're going into the luxury market numbers. And last month in the luxury market, there were 107 homes sold that were $1 million and over compared to September's 119. So that was a 12 home decrease. However, the median price did have an increase. It increased to 1.425 mil, and the month before that was 1.275. So that's 150,000 increase in median price for the luxury market.
Yeah, it has been a trend that we've been seeing it go down a little bit. The luxury market each month has had a little less sales, which is maybe that's what we've been keying in on more, is a little bit on the higher priced properties that we're seeing. It just, it's slowing down a little bit.
Oh, yay, Julie. Congrats. Yeah, I got your voicemail on Sunday. I was going to wait to call you once I kind of felt out if your house sold. So I will be calling you this week and we'll discuss. Mm-hmm. Sorry, this microphone's kind of in the way for my numbers. So let's get back to the market numbers. For October, we had a total of 3,564 new listings, single family homes, which was actually down 3.5% from September and down 0.8% from the prior year. So the listings are not coming on the market like we had thought.
They're not.
The new listings are not coming.
They're still coming on.
Yeah, but not as much as, we're down from September's listings, but then that can also play a role as to the seasonality of it.
Yeah. Well, I think that all the trends that have caused some of the shortage of inventory are still in play.
Right.
There's still this problem, and I'm getting a lot of sellers who are doing this now, though, where they're saying, okay, we're going to bet on where the market's heading in the future, but they want to sell now and then do something temporarily until they can buy later.
Makes sense.
That's where they're at.
Take advantage of it.
But people have not been willing to do that because they say, well, I got to sell and then I still got to find a place to buy. So that's created people to stay put. So unless they're feeling that real urge or have all those other factors that create the urge for people to move, they're just like, well, I'll stay put.
Exactly. Especially with the whole rental, how our rental situation is, how expensive rentals are.
Rental market still
cray. I get people calling me, can you help me with apartments? I'm like, go to rents.com or apartments.com.
Well, yeah,
as a real estate agent,
anyways,
we don't do apartments, period. It's just beyond our scope.
Well, yeah, apartment, they have a leasing agent at the apartment. Condos we can help with, but it's such we don't really have time. But if you're in one of those situations where you're selling and you need to find a property that you're temporary, want to rent in for a year or two and see what the market is like, which has been a very popular move for some people, then you can do that. We can help you with that. Certainly that makes it worth our time and effort. But a problem with just doing rentals right now is we can sell homes faster than we can sometimes renting them, and you're getting paid, unfortunately, very little on those. So it's just not good for
my advice to you, if you're looking for a rental in Vegas, is to find a property management company to help you out.
Sure. They're gonna relegate you to their inventory. That would be the only thing. You have to maybe contact a few if you can. For some people, what I do is I just send them the emails and then I tell them how to apply.
Right.
I cannot open any doors because by the time I even open the door, it's already gone.
Right. Exactly.
So I can do that for some people.
But if you are looking for a rental, don't use Craigslist.
Yeah, don't do that. There's been the rental scams are out there and people are desperate. So yeah, I say get your list from realtors, but don't expect the realtors to be able to do much as far as opening doors for you, except for maybe some realtors that are newer They need to, they don't have, a ton of business.
Exactly.
So,
speaking of which, I hired a new assistant. I lost my previous assistant and hired a new assistant. And I actually hired a buyer's agent, which Rob knows him well from his tennis buddy.
Yeah. So he was on my team. Yeah.
Which is nice that I'm getting extra help. And then I also have another agent that I could possibly use as help for if rentals or for showings, just in case I get booked out.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about having my new assistant is that she is going to be a showing agent. She's going to assist when I get too busy as well. And then plus my buyer's agent. So I have the help now that I've so desperately needed.
Yeah.
So anyway, good news. I just wanted to brag about
Bring
that.
it on. Yeah. Bring it on. Bring all your needs on.
Yes, I needed it.
Be taken care
of. So then there was a total of 3,287 listings that were listed without offers for the month of October, which is down 5.1% from September and also down 27% from the prior year.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those number of listings are slowly increasing. Back in the beginning of spring, like we've mentioned, it was 1,600. And so they're slowly but surely increasing.
Yeah. I mean, I would say we're probably we have to be getting close. I'm going to put my foot in my mouth if I'm wrong, but I think this was about what the numbers were last year this time. Maybe a touch.
Well, no, because if it's 20%.
Oh, it's down 20.
It's down 27% from prior year.
Okay, so there it is. Foot in the mouth. Somewhere along the line, maybe it was late in the year, right at the beginning of all this is where we were at that number.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting. I would look forward to this next 6 months or last half of the season to see compared to 2020 because of how crazy the last 6 months of 2020 started. It's a good comparison.
Right.
To me, the market is slowing. However, it's not slowing as much as everyone would like it. And could it be because we are in the traditional time frame? Do you think that I think we're going to pick up in our traditional spring selling season?
Yes, there are a couple of variables that I would definitely put out there. Right now, one of the we're still getting all these people who've been on the sidelines,
right?
And they're coming into the fray now, and they're feeling like they can now buy without basically having to chop off an arm or give a baby a firstborn,
right.
So they're coming in, and I think they have continued to make this market. That train is still coming to the station, but it's not stopped yet, which is incredible.
Yeah, because I'm booked out for the next month and a half.
I've been nuts. I've been getting a lot of listings right now. This is where I'm starting. It's anecdotal to my own personal thing, but I'm starting to think we're going to start getting more. We're going to start getting more properties in the market. So what I'm thinking in spring, the big factor here, and now I've got different people that say different things about the interest rates, because if they do change, if they start changing, then you have higher prices that have been gained in the last year extremely,
right?
And then you have interest rates that start making it unaffordable for some people. So some people are also realizing they're hearing this news and they're trying to get in and what they think might be the last. Right now, interest rates are around 3%, which is muy bueno, still really good,
right?
So you can buy a more expensive home and still have that payment that's not going to kill you, right? But if the interest rate goes up, and even by a little bit, even every time it goes up a point or 2 or 3 or point or 0.5%, that is where you start seeing people get flushed out, or they have to buy less, properties that are less attracted to them, and so on and so forth. The rental market stimulating this is a thing. I mean, look, I just did just for fun, I was with somebody and I said, well, let's see how many properties for 1,500 single family residents you can rent in town for $1,500 a month.
Right.
Not many, very, very few.
Right.
So think about that. That used to be a high price for people a couple of years ago here.
Yeah.
1,500
was the max.
Now we're at a median of around 2,000. And
right.
So
and then think of the apartments. You get a 2-bedroom apartment in not so great area for $1,600.
If you're lucky.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's a wonder why kids don't leave the nest for a long time now.
Right.
Because they can't afford it.
What they are the next frontier, and there has been some help from mom and pop who are ready to get them out.
Right. I would like my kids to live with me forever. I'm fine with that.
Well, everybody has their situation.
Right.
So those are the next, and that has been an argument that has been made to me as well, that you're going to have this new spurring of young people coming along into the housing market that are finally going to get a chance. And as you may or may not know, that there's some of this stuff that's going on in Washington, where they've passed trillions of dollars, is going to have some housing market money in it, money in it. And they're trying to stimulate people being able to purchase homes.
Like
down payment assistance,
right.
and for low income housing to be built and things like that. The immediate impact would be on the down payment assistance side.
Right.
So, and not just the programs that we have now. I think they're talking about more ambitious, more money, basically.
Right. Makes sense. All right. Let's get back to the numbers. Let's see. So, which brings us to the housing supply in Southern Nevada. We are at 1.1 months of supply, and I do believe that was pretty much the same for last month. It says down. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah. Oh, pretty much flat, but down 23.5% from the prior year, which means that month's of supply last year was probably in the high ones or low twos.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost 25% higher. So, 1.5%, 1.1 months, I should say, 1.5 month supply, something like that.
Right. So not that much of an increase when it comes to months of supply. However, I find it interesting what changed was there are 79.9% of the closings for the month of October was on the market for 30 days or less. In September, that number was 83.8. And in October 2020, it was 70.3. So that means that homes are staying on the market a lot longer.
This is where I think we're seeing that subtle change occur.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been saying that about the overlisters and the make me movers.
Yes. Yeah, if you need to sell, I mean, no one can ever predict how the market's going to be. I can say that I think next year is going to be better and to buy now, because who knows what next year numbers are going to be, if it's going to continue to increase. But the most important factor is the interest rates. If the interest rates continue to increase, then I think that will help really put a halt on the pricing.
Yeah. And this is where I want to answer Julie's.
Sorry, let me just decline this.
This is where I want to answer Julie's question there about inflation, because from what I understand and from what has been, historically done, when inflation is around, interest rates go up. And in the last time we had extreme inflation, interest rates went way up. I don't expect them to go way up, but that is the hedge against inflation that the government does. There's also an argument that they won't want to do it because there's so much money that's owed, and that can affect rates that money is owed by us in our country. Right. So this gets into some detail that honestly, when they told me, I couldn't quite understand it all. But the basic thing is, does inflation affect home prices? Yeah, certainly that's what we had, is extreme inflation, if you want to call it that, prices going up. But how that affects what happens with the interest rate is what I'm looking at for next year. What's going to happen?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Again, the right house, the good location, still seeing multiple offers.
Yeah.
Not as crazy, besides the one story that I told you in the beginning of this show where it was almost $100K over asking price. But there are still multiple offers. The key is to get a house that's been on the market for at least 30 days or more. And that's when you can really start.
You can try. Yeah.
You can try to get some good deals.
There might be an opportunity to go in there and muscle them a little bit.
Right.
I just lost track.
About offers, multiple offers.
Well, I lost track because a nice big long question or
you were too busy reading the comment.
Yeah.
What's the comment say? Visiting Las Vegas next week for a potential move in the spring. Most interested in Henderson and Summerlin area. Seems like in Henderson you get a little more for your money. You know what? To be honest with you, I think Henderson pricing has actually gone up.
Yeah, well, Henderson,
it's hard to find anything really. Right?
Yeah, it depends on the area of Henderson.
True.
And this is why you really can't compare Summerlin and Henderson. Those are two very vastly different things. Summerlin is a community in on the west side of Vegas. Henderson is a whole city, right? So
you can't compare the two, because if you were to compare Summerlin to Henderson, you would do Anthem, McDonald Highlands, Seven Hills.
You'd have to go and break it down into some of the areas like Green Valley or something, right? So maybe you could say Henderson and Green Valley. Certainly there's going to be some things that are on par, but in generally speaking, the way that I've always thought of it is that Summerlin is the number one spot, and this goes by the numbers, and Green Valley is kind of the second. The area, the top spots in Henderson are the kind of the second.
Right. And it also depends on what size of home you're looking for in that budget. $550. If you're only looking for a 3-bed, 1,500 square feet, then you may have a lot of options. But if you're looking for a bigger house
or a one-story,
yes, then that may be hard. It just depends. Reach out to either Rob or I. If you're just getting the lay of the land and you're not ready for spring, obviously the best thing to do is just check out the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Maybe we can send you listings, but you just drive by those listings to check out the neighborhoods to get a better idea if you want Henderson or Summerlin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
There's a number of things that attract people to the two different areas. And it is odd because people just will they'll gravitate to one or the other, and that's where they feel comfortable. Sometimes it's just about the people that they know in town and that already are in an area, or they just happen to spend some time in an area and they go, oh, well, this is the spot. I'm comfortable here.
Just like me, I've always lived in the Summerlin area for 25 plus years. The other 6, I grew up on the east side for elementary by a not so good side, Las Vegas and the Cary area.
Oh yeah. That's the
now it's like
higher crime area.
Yeah. Now on the way up, all the ways like you see trailer parks, and back then, it was a brand new home. But anyway, But from 1992 on, I've always lived in the Desert Shores, Summerlin area.
So the Desert Shores was built in the late 80s.
Yes.
And then Summerlin started in the early 90s.
Yep.
And my mother bought a house not far from where you're living here, up in now I'm going to forget the neighborhood, but it's fun.
Getting old, Rob.
Yeah. Oh man, I've been having a lot of senior moments lately. I do a lot of things, and I think my brain is having.
I got to write everything down.
The trails. That's what it is.
The trails.
It was in the trails. A modest home in the trails, but I thought my mother was nuts when she moved out here.
Right.
So I'm very comfortable with West Side, period. But I do understand, especially when people look at luxury homes, you're probably going to consider all over town.
Yes.
Unless you specifically want to be in the Summerlin area, Summerlin South area.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Because foothills of McDonald Highlands is beautiful. McDonald Highlands itself is beautiful. Some areas in Seven Hills is gorgeous, and then of course in Summerlin you got the Ridges, the Summit Club.
We got some great spots in Green Valley, Legacy.
Yes.
You got not the Willows, Fountains, and a couple others at Quail Ridge, I believe it is.
Right. Yeah, back in the early mid 80s was the Lakes. Then after that, in 1988, Desert Shores was developed, and those were the neighborhoods. Those were the bomb neighborhoods. That's what a lot of people started like, oh, there's water, let's move there. And then the early 90s, like you said, Summerlin started taking place, but Summerlin wasn't like Summerlin as big as it is now, right?
Well, they had the land.
But I'm just saying,
it was
because all you had then was the Hills Village was first, then the Pueblo, then the trails. And then so for the rest of the 90s was those Summerlin North, obviously.
Yeah, they had Sun City, Summerlin that was being built.
But that's not really part of the Howard Hughes Corporation. It's part of Del Webb. But Del Webb was developed in 1989. Yes, Del Webb was built in 1989.
Yeah. So, but you have all the original North Summerlin. And then it went on kind of south. That's what it's done, and west. Right now they're building like crazy on the west.
Yes.
Let's see what we got. We got looking to move to Las Vegas next year. Want to buy a new home in Southwest Vegas. Budget is $425. All right, you'll be able to do that. Hopefully we won't have more historic gains. I mean, I say hopefully because I just think that there's reasonable understanding that you can't keep going up and away and have it make sense.
And it just depends on what type of home you're looking for.
Sure.
Single family, single story, how many bedrooms and how big of a home. Yeah. If you want a pool, I mean, all those play into the cost.
Yeah, you're in a range that's workable. Put it that way. As long as you're not
realistic.
Yeah, if you're asking for the
moon,
the quadrifecta, is it? I know there's trifecta. What would be the fourth, the next level up from that? Right. But basically, 1 story, 3-car garage, 2,000 square feet with a nice large lot. Yeah, no.
RV parking with a pool.
Probably not finding that for $425 unless you know somebody really well that just doesn't care about money. But you can find a nice home.
What's the next one? Thanks for the tips. Looking for 4-bed pool, 3-car garage. Yes, just getting the lay of the land for now. So definitely, and a lot could change. I mean, we can't predict when you're ready in the spring what the prices are going to look like. They could be like 550 is like the golden number, and you can buy a lot in that price range.
I don't expect it to massively change, but I do expect us to be able to start seeing what the change means.
Right.
So it's a very hard time to truly predict what I think is next. That's what I've been having. I'm waiting for that information to come in.
Yep, and we can only do it month to month or day by day. You know, we can't. We don't have an crystal ball.
Yeah.
Dante asked, saying that he's visiting next month, wants to put a down or deposit on a new home. So when you say new home, does that mean new construction? And what are my chances? So in that price range of $425, it's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
It's gonna be really rough for new construction because
in the Southwest.
You're looking at KB probably would be the only builder, and KB has the only builder now that still has the wait list because of their price range. You have that lottery system.
I don't even think they have anything you can get in at $425.
No. And then you also got to think there's a lot premium and then any updates.
Right.
So $425 may be a tough one for new construction.
Yeah. You're going to want to look at resales, which I generally recommend for the deal anyway. I mean, it's like, it's like, so they want new construction. Doesn't mean you can't look in another area, but the Southwest, very popular area, very hard to find what you're looking for there. But it's like buying a new car, brand new car, you drive it. It's not, houses aren't quite like you're going to buy the house and depreciate. No, it doesn't work that way. Houses are much stronger in that way, but buying them new, you are paying a premium right off the chute.
Right.
So a resale often will give you more value, sort of like buying a used car where, but not quite the same.
Well, and another thing you got to think when you guys are buying new construction, I say this in all my videos, is you got to think of the property tax. Why are you coming to Vegas or Nevada? To get away from wherever you are, it's property tax.
Probably.
New construction property tax is at least approximately 1% of total purchase price, which includes base price and upgrades. So if you spend $800,000 on a home, $400,000, then that's $4,000 or $8,000 in property taxes. Typically on a resale home, that's half.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much almost half. So those are things you got to consider when you buy new construction. And another thing too, when you do buy new construction, you got to think, okay, yes, I want to buy in the Southwest, but what is that neighborhood going to look like in 5 years? Is that neighborhood going to still maintain its integrity, its value, or is it going to be dumpy? Now, if you buy in a master plan community like Mountains Edge, Rhodes Ranch, Southern Highlands, and you buy new construction or Summerlin, then that integrity we know, because they're well-known master plan communities, are going to uphold than at a single little new construction community. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why HOA communities have been, these master plan and HOA communities in general have been so popular, because in general, they hold the look, they hold that aesthetic throughout the neighborhood, and that means that it holds value. So
good tips, guys. Yeah, income tax. So deposit, it depends on the builder. Some builders require just a flat deposit amount, like 5,000, 10,000. Some builders will require a percentage, like 5% or 10%. Toll Brothers, depending on where in Toll Brothers, is 5 or 10%.
Yeah.
Or some just require a flat deposit, and depending on also how much that house is.
Yeah. Well, also you have the potential for any deposit for your upgrades as well.
Yeah. So how Toll Brothers operates is you're going to have either 5 or 10% deposit off the base price. You're going to have a 20% deposit on the structural options, a 20% deposit on the lot premium, and then another 20% deposit on the upgrades. So when you buy Toll Brothers, you're putting a lot of money up front right away.
Mm-hmm.
And some builders don't require that many deposits.
Yeah. Toll Brothers is, I'd say they're the cream of the crop when it comes to what am I trying to think of? Gosh, I'm really having trouble today. But
upgrades?
No, the type of when it's oh my goodness, it's a commonly tract homes.
Oh, tract homes, yes. And
it's not a popular thing to say anymore, tract homes, but at the end of the day, they're building similar style floor plans throughout the neighborhood. And
right.
That's still a tract home.
Right. And Toll Brothers, they typically take 12 months to build, where other builders take much less in this market. Oh, construction. Wow. What's the construction, Miss Julie? I don't get it. So I actually want to talk about the elephant in the room, which is really not an elephant in the room, but I kind of saw that you did. You did. I didn't watch your video, but you did mention a video on Zillow.
Okay. Yeah.
And here are my thoughts. I didn't watch your video, so I don't know what you said, but I'm going to.
Go ahead.
Here are my thoughts on Zillow. Anyone else have questions before we go into this whole Zillow sell topic?
Well, we can bounce around a little bit.
Yeah, of course. But my thoughts are on this. It's just like OfferPad and Open Door. They bought a lot of property thinking that they could just put the lipstick on the pig, paint it, change out the carpet, and sell it for much more. Mm-hmm. So since the market is shifting and the houses, they didn't predict, because they predicted that, everything was going to increase. So when they bought it, sold it, then they would still make a profit. But now, because the market's shifting and they spent so much money trying to get that land, thinking that they would make more money. Does that make sense? Do you see where my train of thought on this?
Yeah. I see where you're going.
So just like I see so many OfferPad listings, and I think they overbought, thinking that they can make money in the end. Right. And that's why they just want to say, you know what? I want to get out of this iBuyer. It's not the time for these type of iBuyers to be buying right now.
So yeah, that's
my thought on the whole thing.
Okay. So
I don't think that it's because the market is crashing or there's anything wrong with it. I just think that they didn't strategically plan.
So they did some really dumb things. Okay. I think that first of all, they may have been overconfident. And so Zillow, as you know, Zillow has a lot. They gain trust from the public, because what do? You go to Zillow, you look for a home. You go to Zillow, you see how much your home's worth, or at least you find the Zestimate, which we always tell you that's just a measure of up or down. Is your house going up or is it going down? That's not a true necessarily estimate of what your house might be worth. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's not. But either way, they gain trust doing that. And then they also had a model where they would sell their leads to real estate agents,
right?
Which I always thought was totally screwed up, because you have the multiple listing service, which we pay for,
right,
to put our listings that we earn the trust of people to get to sell those listings. And then Zillow picks it up secondarily, because Realtor.com was doing such a terrible job back in the day. Zillow came along and did something very customer friendly, public friendly. They just made it user friendly,
right?
And they did a smart thing. But along the way, then they started reselling those leads to us agents, which I never did this, but clearly some agents have made a fortune doing it.
Well, agents would spend thousands of dollars a month on leads.
They're making a lot of money doing it, and they're just sitting back and letting Zillow send them the leads. There's no marketing.
I don't
they
know
didn't have to go
the
and
agents
create.
are making a lot of money. I think Zillow is the one that's making
Zillow's
the money.
making a piece of it. Certainly, some of these agents are making a lot of money.
Right.
They got to still be hustlers, but they didn't have to go create a YouTube and marketing plans and really become great marketers. They just had to use Zillow. So anyway, that was their model. And they created that trust through to the public. And they figured, you know what, we have all the information. We have loads of cash. We're flush with cash. We're Zillow. Right. We've made money. We've got a lot of cash. And then they see Open Door and I always forget, OfferPad and others buying up property, and they say, you know what, we have something that they don't have. We have something that's very valuable. We have information.
Right.
We know when somebody's thinking about selling their home because we see them come on our site multiple times. What's my thing? What's my thing? We know when somebody's buying or wants to buy a certain type of home.
Right.
So they had all this information, and I think that they got extremely very kind of hungry for this,
greedy
to be greedy. They got overconfident, and they said, we can go into the iBuyer market because we have the information. They were sort of right. The only problem is that they went in there spending money like they just like a rapper. Let me spend that cheese, right? They were throwing around the money.
Right.
And they in a historic market, can you believe this, they actually went underwater with their purchases. I haven't heard the term underwater for a while, since short sales days. And these people were buying up properties and instantly being underwater with them. So if you sold to Zillow, you probably, I call the iBuyers the pawn shops.
Right.
Do you sell anything to a pawn shop without being desperate? The answer is no. So why would you go to an iBuyer? Well, in this case, there was a pawn shop, quote unquote, that was giving you more than what your stuff was worth. So you go to them and you sell it. That's what happened.
And that way you don't have to have people traipsing in your home. You sell it, it's done deal.
It was easy. They made it easy. They did a lot of things. There's a number of things that they did make easy. But then what happened was they realized we're in this position. They've been competing with Open Door and OfferPad. They've been just going in markets and just saying, no, we'll pay more than them. No, but so they're competing amongst themselves, like other buyers would, like our clients would amongst other clients, except they're these huge, billions of dollars, and they've got ultimately they realized they're in over their head. And I think when people say, is Zillow seeing something down the road? Yes, they are seeing something down the road. They are seeing diminishing returns. And they're saying to themselves, well, it's just like if you bought a stock. Okay, you buy a stock and you say, this stock should improve, right? But it doesn't. It goes down. Now, if you have high confidence in that stock and you say, well, it's still in a great company or whatever, I have this reason that I believe it'll bounce back, then maybe you hold on to that stock, right? You're not going to let it go. But if you have information that's telling you, the company's not doing really good, and it looks like around the corner, this stock's going to take an even worse dive. Right. Maybe it's time to just say, I'm taking my losses. Right. Yeah. So I think that's what they did. I also think that they might've been, this is my personal, could get me in trouble opinion, is that I think they were twisting around their estimates. I think they had algorithm changes to that. If you notice, they didn't, their values weren't keeping up with what was happening. Right. Sometimes they just didn't even have a estimate on there.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, look, they were the iBuyer. So they would say, hey, well, here's our estimate. And guess what? We'll buy you your home from you. But if that estimate and they're trusted at that time is low, right, that's what they were trying. I think they were trying to rig it. And there's a possibility that somebody caught on to that. And they said, well, instead of losing the whole company, because if somebody finds out we're doing some stuff ethically wrong, then let's just get out now. And that's my little thought on that. So you have a number of reasons that they said, let's hit the road, Jack.
Well, I'm seeing it both on OfferPad and Open Door. A lot of listings under that, and it sucks because it's hard to get a hold of those agents. It's just not a very user-friendly or customer service-oriented companies.
Yeah,
and
they don't care.
Right. And my point is that the iBuyer too is like once they have the home inspection and they see things wrong with the house, they'll reduce the price of what they originally offered, right?
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
So if like you have some repairs that need to be done, either they'll have you fix it or they'll reduce the price in the home.
So yes, they that was also something they were notorious for doing, was giving you a nice juicy price and then coming along and starting to slash those prices. I have heard that they haven't been taking that route as much because it's so competitive that they just say, you know what, we're going to pay tomorrow's prices, or tomorrow's prices for today's real estate. That's what they're doing, which is insane. And I only think that, speaking of inflation, and we do have some stuff here, but speaking of inflation, there is a big reason why these billion-dollar companies, these companies that have a lot of money, have been putting it in and not worrying about overpaying it. And the inflation is the reason why, because housing is a hedge against inflation.
Right.
So, just you for Joe homeowner, whatever your name could be, but when you buy a house or you invest in a property, you are also hedging yourself against inflation by purchasing that property. You're putting something into what would likely be an increasing value that will increase with inflation, and rather than just having the money sit in the bank and not do anything. Right.
It's an investment.
And you can, obviously, if you're living in it, well, you're getting the pleasure of owning this home. So that's great. But if you're renting it, you can also get the income. And it doesn't have to be a ton of income when you're using it as a hedge against what you believe is oncoming more in inflation, not transitional inflation or whatever they call it, where they're saying it's temporary. I don't believe it's temporary. That's my personal opinion. What do I know? I'm just a goat. I don't know. My master beats me.
Well, we're in it we see it day in and day out. We live, breathe real estate 24/7, 7 days a week, unfortunately.
Right. Yeah.
At least I do.
Well,
you have a little life. I don't.
Yeah. I focus on what's important for sure. And, when you are working full time in the business, there's no doubt. I mean, after 13 years, I just have a sense of what's happening. I'm not always perfect. I'm human, but that's, you're gonna get a grip of what's going on. Right.
All right. Let's get some questions. Time to short, open door, and make some cash. Okay. They don't know the markets. Most of the top agents in my market area buy Zillow leads for $6,000 to $10,000. That's just ridiculous.
Right. That's a lot of money, but they have to be making what, $30,000 to $40,000, and that makes sense. They're selling. They've got to be selling 4 or 5 properties a month, and they're getting their leads from
I'd rather take that $40,000 a month and put it in my pocket than give it to Zillow.
Well, they don't have the lead if they don't have Zillow, and that's
true.
But again, this is that low hanging fruit mentality, which I know that a lot of agents get in this business and do, and it's been a temptation along the years that I've been doing that. Hey, you see this in politics. Money solves the problem. No, maybe in this case it does.
Well, they say you got to spend money to make money.
There you go.
But there's an extent to how much money you need to spend to make it. There's a right way of doing it.
If you're really smart like Ange is, and you create a way that you can literally bring the fish to your doorstep, like this right here. I mean, you're giving. Anyway, Ange has done a wonderful job, and this is where I learned from her.
Yep. So Mo Rod said, "Let's hear Rock and Roll Rob's opinion on Providence, please."
All right. Well, because you said please and thank you, I absolutely will tell you. I think Providence is great. Providence had it came about when it's probably, by the way, Providence is a master plan community in the Northwest.
Next to Skye Canyon.
Yeah. It came about, it was built right around the time when we had the crash.
Yes.
Right? So it had a stunted growth, as I would say, which many communities actually did. And suddenly these communities had this, perspective that people would have this perspective that they're not that great. And over time, though, clearly they have overcome that.
Right.
And Providence is good. Very good area. I like Providence a lot. I think that they have relatively low HOAs. The area around it commercially used to be anemic and has just exploded.
Well, their HOAs, they have 2.
Yeah.
Even if it's gated or not gated, most of the communities, because what happened when these builders started building the same with Summerlin, you have that builder's HOA, or now it's going to be the subdivision, and then you have the master plan HOA.
Yep.
So with Providence, most of them have 2 HOAs.
Yep.
And they're like in
$100.
$100.
They're still relatively reasonably priced, and you can be in a gated neighborhood in that area and have a large 1-story, pretty nice property. There's some in there. Look, the ones that I've sold, thankfully, have been like that in there.
Some of them, though, are so up against the mountain that
they're pretty squeezed
they're very squeezed up. The driveways are short. There's certain parts of Providence that are beautiful, and then certain parts are like very cookie cutter and just a sea of very tight.
I think that was a product of the time that they were built.
Right.
So you do have some of that in there. I guess I should say it depends on what you're buying in Providence. But I do like it overall, and I do think that it's awesome that you're right off the freeway, and there's actually a couple of exits now that you can get in there.
I did do a video on Providence a year or 2 ago, so if you want to see what it looks like driving, you can go check it out on the YouTube channel. All right, Miss.
Do cash buyers still have an advantage? What do you think?
Well, prime example of the story that I told you in the beginning was my clients were cash buyers. And they offered the highest price that they went was $660 cash, waived everything. The people that actually won the offer were conventional buyers. Mm-hmm. So because it was still above theirs, regardless if it was cash or not. I mean, it depends on if it's over what everyone else is or, competitive.
Well, cash, cash is always king. I mean, it just is king and queen. But there are limitations because of if you just waive an appraisal, or if you go way above, are willing to put cash towards an appraisal. Right. So I guess the fusion can be stronger.
Right.
It can be, but if you have more cash, you are still stronger.
But if you are paying with a conventional loan, and you have proof that you can pay above the appraised value.
That's what I mean.
And you have cash. You still have cash.
You still have to put cash into it.
Exactly.
So cash that's what I mean. It's a hybrid.
Right.
That's what you're doing basically. You're using some cash and you're using your loan. But the cash is always going to be king, because if your clients could have come up even higher and just said,
and they should have,
hey, we'll pay this much, then that cash is going to win out. Exactly. It's just going to win out because cash has no other strings attached. It has no other contingencies.
Right.
It has less contingencies, I should say. You're going to have your due diligence period. Once that's up, now your earnest money is on the line. So that there's a high degree of probability that you're going to close.
Well, there's 2 contingencies that you have on a cash offer, which one would be due diligence. And if there's an HOA, then you would have that HOA contingency.
Okay, sure. The HOA package getting to you, and then the 3-day wait period. Okay, yeah. That's a technical one that rarely people think of unless they're looking for a way out.
I always think of it. I always give my clients options.
Well, and as from the seller side, I always want to get that HOA package out right away. Right. I'll pay for the rush. I'll even do it on my dime if I have to. Yeah. Just because I want to make sure that they get it. They get that weight out of the way. And I know that we have, if nothing less, they're going to pay with their earnest money if they want to bail out.
Yeah. I mean, my clients even offered a $50K EMD, earnest money. I mean, they just were, and they said that they would pay for a rush for the HOA. I mean, they were just like, they waived the home warranty. I mean, they really wanted it, but obviously the conventional loan won in the end because it was more than what they were offering.
Yeah. So they were willing to wait 30 days and go through the financing stuff because they were probably making a lot more money on it.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line. So cash is still the king there.
All right. It says, I heard that there are mortgages where I could put 5% at close and then put down another 15% after selling current home to get that magic 20% and then lower monthly payment and no PMI. That's something you'd have to talk to a mortgage lender because I just don't know.
Yeah. What they're saying is that they can... What you're saying, you can buy the house at 5% and then later close and put down the additional 15%. I've never heard of it. Never heard of that. But getting rid of the PMI is a big deal, and putting down 20% to do so is great. I think that's a smart move.
Right. And depending on the loan program, with conventional loan, all you have to put down is 3%, with FHA 3.5%, and obviously with a VA loan, 0 down. So obviously the more you put down, the less your down pay or your monthly mortgage payment is. And if you put 20% down, then obviously there's going to be no PMI.
PMI is private mortgage insurance.
Or the other one for FHA. It's the opposite, right?
Yeah, FHA, you get it no matter what.
Really?
Yeah, you got PMI. I don't think you can pull that out.
I don't think that's right.
Yeah, it's right.
With putting 20% down.
Why would you do 20% down?
I gotta.
They wouldn't care. It's
hold on.
All right, yeah.
I got a calculator.
Do that one. In the meantime, I'll ask what areas, regions in Las Vegas you specialize in. She is Summerlin, a lot of Sun City. Summerlin. I'll go ahead and speak for you there. But
the northwest part of the valley for me, all the west and northwest, south, parts of southwest, but northwest, west.
Mostly that's where you're going to be. Although I'm sure
I'll go anywhere.
You'll go anywhere. And I'm a go anywhere guy too, but Summerlin South is my favorite place to work. And that's my whole website is dedicated to that. So if you want to know about Summerlin South, which is a little lesser known type of thing, although it is amazing, you can know about that on my website, Rob Howe Realtor, RobHoweRockstarRealtor.com. All right. So I'll be visiting next month. I'll call you soon. Okay. You convinced me to buy.
So he's right. There's MIP for.
I was right.
He was right for FHA loan. You still have that. So, I mean, really, why would you want to go with an FHA
you wouldn't
loan?
Go FHA. Unless you were dealing with something where your credit score was a problem.
Right. For speaking of area of expertise, Rob is born and raised. What do they call that? Battleborn, right. Vegan, and I've been here for over 30 years. So, I mean, we know the valley very well, regardless of area. Obviously, when you're in real estate, you always want to specialize in an area to be an area of expertise. However, we know the ins and outs of almost everywhere.
The Vegas Valley is a little different than some cities. Let's just say because Dante here is saying he's come from Denver. Denver is a much more sprawling area. As far as the total of what Denver is, very large area. Like if you're in Phoenix, I mean, huge area. If you're in LA, huge area.
Right.
So you're going to want to specialize in areas where you're from there. In Vegas, we're a valley and you can pretty much get around. It used to be, you could say you could get around anywhere in 30 minutes. Now it's 35 to 40 minutes at least. But you can get around anywhere in town with the exception of maybe like Boulder City, which is not in the valley.
All right.
So, we work the entire valley is generally how it goes. There might be something that I would go ahead and refer out if it was
over the hump in Pahrump. No, I'm just kidding.
Certain things. So I did just do a referral in Pahrump.
All right.
I did a referral in Northern Nevada, of course, because that's far away. But so Vegas Valley, we work it.
We work it. But if you want anything in Summerlin, he's the Summerlin South. And I'm the rest of Summerlin or all of Summerlin.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I guess I'll be renting after I sell my house. Not looking forward to renting. Yes, renting is not going to be fun.
Boo.
The only thing I could suggest is, yeah.
Well, it used to be this. Just as a little final thought here, or getting to the final thoughts.
Right. We need to wrap it up.
It used to be that I kind of had to. You kind of had to be like, oh, renting, but you knew that it wasn't terribly unaffordable, right? A few years back, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, the whole renting thing. You could say there was a number of reasons why it kind of sucked to be a renter because you were under the landlord's foot and because you could get moved out as soon as your contract's up, stuff like that. But now I can legitimately say, and for a while now I can say, my goodness, renting is horrendous. And it's so horrendous because all those things that used to be there that I could say are bad are still there. And maybe more so because some of these owners are saying, you know what, we'll just sell this thing soon.
Right.
But also the cost of renting right now has just gone up so much. So it does not have a lot of appeal unless you're doing it for temporary purposes or because you just have to, which is a real bummer. I know there are those who just have to rent right now. Get through it, get to the other side, and be a homeowner. You will not regret it. I promise you. I promise you. It's been wonderful for me. I know it's been wonderful for her. I know it's been wonderful for everyone I've ever known, and that's not a joke.
Yeah, because I was renting because my daughter was about to go to high school when it came time, and she was slotted to go to the Cimarron High School. And I did not want her to go to Cimarron, so we sold our house and rented for 3 years so she can go to high school at Palo Verde. And at that time, that was 2017, 18, 19 timeframe, 3 years. We rented over in Summerlin Hills North, and that was $2,000. And I thought at that time for a 3,000 square foot house, $2,000 was a lot of money. Now, a 3,000 square foot house, you're looking at maybe $4,000 in rent.
At least 35, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just crazy how much. Now that's where inflation is.
You absolutely. And that has been, I think that's self-caused, if you will, because of some of the things that have happened in our marketplace. Right. And that's throughout the country, really. But hey, what's up, Chicago?
Mr. Air Jordan.
Yeah, hey, our buddy Flurry went over to Chicago.
Ooh, so hello, thanks for the live update. How would you compare Summerlin versus Skye Canyon? Is it reasonable to buy in Skye Canyon instead of Summerlin?
Yeah.
So I love Skye Canyon. It's an up and coming neighborhood. I've done a lot of videos on Skye Canyon. It's like a Summerlin 1.0 when it first started out.
Okay.
So when Summerlin first started out, it was just growing and not too many people knew about Summerlin.
It was way out there.
Yeah, it was way out there. As time progressed, Summerlin grew and grew and grew. I see that same thing for Skye Canyon. They have a beautiful community center. The homes are more affordable than Summerlin. They have a nice community center, 3 parks. I mean, it's just beautiful up there. And the mountain views are phenomenal. And
it's modern. Yeah.
And you're one exit away from Skye Canyon, which is right up to Mount Charleston. And also the homes are newer there.
So how much acreage do they have to finish out Skye Canyon? Do you recall?
I don't know per se. I don't know.
Yeah.
They were in phases, and I think they're in the 3rd phase.
That would be the biggest difference that I would cite, is that it's going to be a much smaller project.
Yes, it's going to be, yes, exactly.
So Summerlin is established, and it has a whole ton of different types of properties. You can get everything from the ultra luxury to a townhome or a condo. And of course, you could live in an apartment in Summerlin if you really, if you want to be in the best area, but you want to be in an apartment.
Do they even have apartments in Summerlin?
Yeah, of course.
Really?
Yeah, they have apartments.
I didn't see that.
Absolutely.
What's Skye Hills?
But yeah, so Summerlin just super established. I mean, it's hard. I mean, if you go in a place like Eagle Hills and you're looking for that feel that you just don't find anywhere else in Summerlin, or several areas that you're just not going to find in Skye Canyon. But like she said, it's starting out. You're getting in on the earlier phases, many years younger than Summerlin. So there are some definite advantages. And I would say your price, they mentioned, is it reasonable to buy compared to Summerlin? That is going to be the biggest motivator, in my opinion.
No, that's called Sunstone. The master. Well, I don't know anything about Skye Hills, but Sunstone is a new master plan community off of the 95 and Skye Canyon. They just recently opened Trilogy Sunstone, which is a 55 plus active adult retirement community. And they will be opening some Lennar Homes, Woodside Homes, and other builders up there. I did a video on what is Sunstone, so there's more information, or you can check my website.
Yep. There you go. He thinks the stock market and housing market is going to crash. I would be willing to bet a whole lot more money on the stock market than I would be the housing market.
Yeah.
I mean, that is to crash. Not that I would put more money into the stock market.
Speaking, we got to end it soon, but I actually just went under contract with the new community, Tri-Point Homes, Overlook over there in Summerlin, Red Point Village. Have you been up there yet?
I think so. Yeah.
So it's just right off of Far Hills. It's super new. I mean, they literally just opened up.
Maybe not that one then.
So I literally, and the starting price in this, they have overlooking Kings Canyon. The starting price and overlook is in the 9s. But anyway, so everyone's getting greedy because the builders, which we've been saying, I just found out I'm only getting 1.5%. I mean, yeah, I know, boohoo, 1.5% off of 995,000. Yeah. It's still, I mean, if I could have got my traditional 3%, that would have been some great money on my end. But I'm like, I was shocked when they told me my commission is only 1.5%.
I am surprised as well.
Yeah, at TriPoint. I'm like, what?
But they do that in a lot of their communities. There are a couple that they don't.
That they only offered that in Summerlin. The rest of it's a flat fee.
Yes, that's what I mean. So,
and to me, that sounds like a Lennar thing, because Lennar now is going up to 1.5 in Summerlin, and then there's still flat fees as well.
Yeah. Well, so these are big companies. These were bought out by big. TriPoint was obviously bought out. Party, so it's a big company, national company that came in. That's where these ideas come from. Lennar did the same thing.
Yeah, Lennar's a huge company.
Yeah, that's where these ideas come from. So, do what you will with that information.
Anyway, kids, let's see.
I'll be in the Cliffs, Terra Luna on Christmas.
I love the Cliffs Village.
Yeah, I love it over there.
Yep.
Wave to Wet and Wild for me. I got a listing. I got a listing coming right there.
I sell a lot in Regency right next door, right across the street. Any questions? We've been on for over an hour.
Yeah.
But at least we got some great interaction.
We love you long time.
Yep. Lennar will be bought soon. We'll see. Lennar's been around for a minute.
That just means somebody else who's going to be even more cut.
Well, Lennar bought Cal Atlantic.
Yes, they did. And Cal Atlantic
bought Ryan Homes.
Ryland Homes.
Ryland Homes. Yeah. So it's just like everyone just gobbles each other up. Hopefully that's not the case for Toll Brothers. That's one of my favorite builders.
Yeah.
But anyway, any other questions before we have to sign off?
Y'all been great.
Yeah.
Thanks for the questions.
We love the questions. It keeps us on our toes.
Yeah. Market trends. What's happening next month? What do you think? What are you guessing on?
Hedge fund. I think the next 2 months of the year is going to be, especially it's going to be busy. I'm
think we'll go up in median home price again.
I have about
another jump.
I have
over 410.
6-7 closings next month.
Yeah.
So, let's just say for median price, we are going to have an increase, not a drastic increase, but an increase. What do you think?
Well, I've been keep wanting to say it's going to stay the same, but I think you're probably right. One more increase. Wow.
Well, people are coming this month and Thanksgiving week, the holidays, even though you would think that people would not be out looking for homes. The weather here is actually phenomenal. It's a great time to be in Vegas.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go with it. You go ahead and say it's gonna increase, and just to be a little bit of the antagonist or the opposite, I'm gonna say it's going to stay flat. 410.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I hope it doesn't go any higher, but real quick, the highest that the median price got in the peak of the before the recession hit was like 315,000. So if we get to 415,000,
I sold a property that I bought in the height this year. Right. I was pretty happy to see it go woo, woo.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, we gotta roll because it's an hour and 8 minutes, and it's almost my nappy time.
Yeah, she has nap time.
I have nap time from 3 to 5.
I'm off to do some work.
Yes.
All right, folks.
But if you're thinking about buying or selling in the Las Vegas area, you can always give Rob a call. What's your number, Rob?
Now you know how. 702-461-7175. You can tie a note to a rock and throw it through my window. However you get a hold of me, that's how you get a hold of me.
And then me, Angela O'Hare, 702. Angela O'Hare is everywhere.
She is everywhere.
That's my new slogan.
Brought to you by
702-370-5112. Anyway, we love giving our market update. We love you guys. Any questions, just leave in the comments after this.
And if you stayed this long, give yourself a gold star. But also, what do you think about Angela O'Hare? She's everywhere. You like that slogan? I happen to like that slogan.
Yes. Well,
All
because
right.
you made it up.
But I still like it.
Just
I would
kidding.
like it if I heard it somebody else say.
All right. Like, subscribe, share, all that jazz. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, rock on.
And do it peacefully.
And we'll
see you guys
on
the next one.
We're a little out of practice, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Nice slogan. See,
There you
smoking.
go, smoking.
Yeah.